But concerns now growing over whether Mr. Trump's tax cut plan will go the way of Obamacare repeal in the Senate. Before Congress passes tax cuts, it must pass a budget, and that is certainly not assured with Mitch McConnell leading the way. The Senate can only afford losing 2 votes on the budget. Senator Rand Paul already affirmed no. Susan Collins, Bob Gorka voicing their reservations and likely no votes. John McCain had been a holdout, but he announced this evening that he would back at least the budget. Our first guest tonight is a highly respected military and intelligence analyst, the former strategist, deputy assistant to President Trump, now chief strategist for the Make America Great Again coalition. We're joined now by Dr. Sebastian Gorka. Great to have you with us. And the president is he's embarked on something of a high wire act here with tax reform, Congress set to move on the budget. These are difficult times, no matter how repaired the relationship between Mitch McConnell and the president appears to be.
Absolutely, Lou. The GOP, the leadership on the Hill, really fumbled the ball when it came to Obamacare. So this is, the next and last test, really, on the large-scale legislative actions that they have to take to support the president's agenda. It was a very interesting press conference yesterday. Not a very confident Mitch McConnell. The president was doing his best to walk the tightrope, understanding that he is not a swamp creature. He was only, I say, accidentally the GOP candidate because he's such a rank outsider. So now Mitch McConnell has to step up to the plate. Paul Ryan has to step up to the plate and look at the last 8 months and say, we have not done enough. Now's the time to support the president and his agenda, and today it's tax reform.
I want to take up as well tax reform. We'll be listening to the president. He's scheduled to take the stage in about 10 minutes. But I want to turn to the change of attitude in 48 hours from the president's statement that he was not and could not recertify the Iranian nuclear deal to the Sunday talk shows where suddenly the Secretary of State and the UN ambassador to the United Nations, Nikki Haley, are both talking as if the president has said we're desperately trying to say in here, and this is just a simple hiatus from a deal being certified. It was an extraordinary change of tone and rhetoric, and frankly, slightly disrespectful, I thought, to the president and his remarks on Friday.
Lou, the president, this is one of the issues I've spoken with the president most often. I was in the room the last time we recertified. I predicted he would not recertify, which is exactly what he did. Sometimes there's the good cop, bad cop show that has to be done. But at the end of the day, I'm not worried. Nikki Haley has proven herself in the last 8 months one of the toughest UN ambassadors the United States has ever had. Rex Tillerson, I'm going to say no comment right now. But the president, his gut instincts on the JCPOA being a disaster for U.S. security, for Israel security, are absolutely right. And remember what he said when he said, I'm not going to recertify. He said, and I may pull us out of this altogether. That's what I recommended. I wrote an op-ed about it. Sooner or later, this deal has to be killed in the interest of national security.
And let's turn to the travel ban. The same district court judge in Hawaii rears his ugly legal head again and blocks a president carrying out his duties to protect the nation.
This is a joke. This is a farce, Lou. The constitutional powers of the president, the laws have been clear since the 1950s, reiterated in landmark cases in the 1980s. There's one individual who gets to decide who comes into this country and by what standards based upon national security we vet those individuals. And it's not a judge in Hawaii. It's not the 9th District Circus in San Francisco. It is the president of the United States. And it's clear that the Supreme Court shares that opinion, and the immigration moratorium will stand.
And one other dedevelopment today that I want to take up with you quickly, if I may, and that is...
It's a big news day.
It is an extraordinary news day. But we're going to get it all covered here tonight, I guarantee you. Well, most of it at least. But the FBI and letting us know finally that there was an investigation years in advance of the Hillary Clinton, if you will, explosion, in terms of the FBI investigating Russian interference in our elections, bribery of officials, with direct links to money going into the Clinton Foundation for the purpose of advancing Vladimir Putin's interest in, quote, the United States.
Lou, this is the biggest story of the day. I predict the consequences of this story will be heard for years and years. We have to doff our cap to Sarah Carter, who's breaking this story, an amazing investigative journalist in the old school. She's going to be giving details on your colleague Sean Hannity's show later tonight. This is pay for play. This is all it is. This is millions of dollars coming from a foreign government.
But what's different? What's different? We've been reporting this story from the very beginning.
Oh, what's different?
What's different here is that we actually have FBI sources that are releasing this material. We thought it was only the deep state and the left who were suffocating the truth. It turns out that there are some very strong patriots who have the courage to move forward and point out that there's a great issue when it comes to the Clinton Foundation, the pay-for-play scandal that crossed all sorts of countries and most of the years of the Obama administration. But the difference here, it seems to me, Sebastian, is there is actually a basis here to reopen Uranium One and the investigation of that deal in its entirety.
There's a basis here based upon FBI sources. I've worked with thousands of agents, intelligence analysts. There are great people in the FBI. We had James Comey almost single-handedly destroy the reputation of this bureau, but there are some good people left, and one of those people is going on record with evidence of pay-for-play, of corruption occurring, and people will have to go to prison because this is the U.S. government's decision-making system being perverted by filthy lucre. And Sarah Carter is going to give us the evidence tonight, and it's going to be a humdinger.